Right. So I thought that I'd give you my list of programming languages that do something like basically a list of programming languages and what I think they are really good at. How about that? Let's go down the list. Now, these are programming languages that I have. Some of them I've been using for a long time, and some of them I've used for a little bit. But at least this is what I think they're really good at. So let's go for C sharp. So C sharp has a very nice, like, Java-ish syntax. Usually, if you use Java or C sharp, you can pretty much pick the other one up very quickly. Now, this is one of the most robust languages overall, and if there's something Microsoft does really well, it is development tools. Like their Visual Studio and like these are, it's hands down the best development experience I've ever had in any compiled language. They are really good at that. C Sharp is also amazing if you're going into game developments and you want like to make computer games, right? So that's something I really like about C Sharp. Let's talk about Java. So Java it's very similar to C Sharp in it doesn't like you can make like really nice computer games with this as well, and I think they're pretty interchangeable, but it's more common, I think, that C Sharp is the language you go with. But Java has it runs on all platforms. It's become quite performant, and it has a really large library of different packages, and like the best part about it is that the community is so massive that if you have a question about Java, I'm pretty sure you can Google to get the actual code to solve your problem. I mean, you can almost become a copy-paste coder because that's how massive the platform is and how well documented it is. And then we have, of course, JavaScript. The great part about JavaScript is it's very easy to get started. It is the language for the browser, which means that, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna have to learn it at some point. I would be very surprised that if you can survive your entire, your programming career without knowing JavaScript. And what else is nice about JavaScript? It's very easy to get, if you use stuff like Node, it's very easy for you to start prototyping stuff. It's perfect for startups. It's perfect for if you want to pitch an idea or just create a concept or something like that. You get their community of packages and open source projects is bigger than any other language by far, and I mean by far. So that's what I like about JavaScript. And let's talk about Elixir. So what's great about Elixir? Elixir is hands down my favorite choice if you're making something where availability is everything. This is if you're building something like say a medical communication system or a betting site or something where availability is the main thing. That's what I would use Elixir for. Also WebSockets and long running communications, downloads, uploads, that type of stuff. It's really good at that. It has one of my favorite technologies, and the architecture is just amazing, where they will it literally, if a process, or in this case a request, fails for any reason, the system will actually shut down that process and reboot an exact copy of that process to serve the request. Which is in essence if you have memory leaks or anything usually that's a problem. You especially in Java and C and these other languages where you have something running all the time and you forgot something or there's a bug and you have a memory leak, and over time you allocate more memory and then finally your system crashes. Elixir doesn't have this problem, which I think is amazing. And it's of course functional, and I'm a little bit biased. I like that a lot. Then let's talk about Ruby. I'm cheating now because this is something that's great about Elixir as well. But Ruby has probably the nicest, the most friendly ecosystem for new developers. I would actually say that it's almost to a fault. I almost get the sensation that like if you only know Ruby, I kind of get a little bit nervous because their community and the tools they have are so convenient and so accessible that I mean it gets hard for me to determine if you know how these things work or if you just know the ecosystem and the tools. And that's a little bit like, that's a good thing. It is a good thing. Like a lot of smaller companies use Ruby because they can be productive really quickly. Like the developer experience they have is absolutely amazing. So if Microsoft and C# make the best development tools, Ruby definitely gives you the best development experience and the nicest community. What else? What else? Well, let's talk about Go. What do I like about Go? So Go is like one of my favorite things about Go is that for a system level language, they decided that, hey, we're gonna standardize on a single format. And they have these small convenient tools. Like there's still CLIs, and I think that in order for Go to become the thing, they need to just focus just a little bit on creating like going the Visual Basic way, like, and have a really nice development IDE or something, so where, you know, for out of formatting and all that good stuff comes very natural. Because Go is really nice. Like I really find it attractive, and like it stimulates a special spot in my head. Like the idea of having a compiled language that goes down to machine code in essence, and having accessibility to like easy, like they have an HTTP and routing system built into the language, which I think is absolutely amazing. And what else? Then we have C and C++. In terms of what I'm going to be honest, like the development experience in these languages isn't all that great. But if you want to get down and dirty with performance and like embedded system, if you want to do that, this is the way to go. I'm going to be honest, the system level programming is probably my weak point. I don't do it that often, and I don't have a lot of experience with it, so I won't like stand here and say, oh, you should use it for this and that, because I'm really not the expert. Then we have PHP, and PHP it is what I hope Node will become one day. It's this bread and butter backbone technology that most of the web runs on. It's really easy to get started. There's a lot of really good documentation. It's very, very, very beginner friendly, and it also solves memory issues very nicely. So it's a fairly robust language to work with. Then we have Coughlin, and Coughlin is probably my new favorite language on the block. It runs on the JVM, so it's interchangeable with Java, but it also has all these nice functional great principles that are getting popular, and some of them I really like the language itself is very well thought through. That's probably my favorite thing with it, and the ambition of the project of being is great as well. Like the end goal for Kotlin native, I think, is to be able to use Kotlin and compile it down to C, like C code, and then to machine code. And that's incidentally the same reason I love Swift. Swift has it's a really great language. A lot of very well thought out things that are provided to you, so that's a great language too. And is there anything else? Did I forget somebody? Maybe I did, but I think that's gonna be it for now. These are some of my favorite things about these languages.